recording.
All right. Hi, Matt.
Hey,
This is Matt Currin, Convene Communities CEO or founder. And today we're going to be interviewing him. My name is Ortega. I am the community leader of arts and entertainment and now photography. So hi, Matt. How you doing?
Good, Amanda. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking.
Good.
All right. So let's just get started.
Okay.
With the first and foremost question of who are you?
Who am I? Well, my name's Matt Currin. So I live in North Carolina. And a little bit about myself. I'm a retired Marine Corps pilot and flew for a hospital as a pilot for 5 years, 8 months. And now I still fly. I still fly for one of the NASCAR teams. So I'm still a helicopter pilot. I have a wife, Tisha, and I have 3 kids, Braden, Megan, and Lainey. And both Braden and Megan are real involved in Convene. So they're one of the community leaders, and Braden's been involved for a long time. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. So.
Cool. All right. And so for those watching, I'm sure everybody has the question, what is Convene? How did it get started? All that jazz.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about how it got started and where the idea came from. And it's, we're doing this interview on July 8th. And I'll talk a little bit real quick about July 9th, because every year this is a big date. And to me and another bunch of Marines, we've already started talking over the last couple of days. And so you can see the helicopter behind me, the big grade one. That's the CH-46 Echo. I flew that when I was in the Marine Corps. And when I was in the Marine Corps on July 9th of 2001, I was out flying a routine training hop. And what ended up happening is the helicopter, who was the Dash 2 helicopter, when you have 2 helicopters, we call it Dash 1 and Dash 2. Unfortunately, the Dash 2 helicopters, I was sitting on the deck waiting for them to land. They crashed right behind me. And in this mishap, I lost one of my best friends. It was a guy named Clark Beatty. And Clark was what was called my combat crew chief, which what that means is that as a pilot, we are assigned a crew chief, and we were basically a team. So when I checked into my squadron in 1997, the same exact time Clark checked into the squadron. We both walked in together, and we were paired up as a team from that point. So after that mishap, you can only imagine it was very, very trying for all of us. But the problem that I really had with the whole thing is that I found out that a mishap had happened a couple of years prior, about a year and a half prior, and it had the same causal factors. It had the same reason that they had the mishap and crashed that night. And so, the next couple of days as we're sitting out there and we're watching them, pull the helicopter out of the water, I kind of made a promise to Clark that night that I would try to make a difference and not allow this to happen again. Because I feel like if that information had been shared, that it may not have happened in our squadron. But unfortunately, that information from the one squadron was never shared outside of that squadron, and therefore there was a breakdown in communication, and unfortunately, 3 good Marines lost their lives. So that is really the beginning of when I started going out and talking about decision making and talking about human factors.
Wow, that's an incredible story. It really is. You wouldn't think that just from a platform, you get all that background, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that something good came of that, because this is going to be great. And Matt has had this dream for a long time, and a lot of us other community leaders and those who have been there really share that vision with him. So we hope that you do too.
Yeah.
But another question that I got for you is one that many people ask. This is probably the top question that we get, and I want to know what's your response to this. What is the difference between Convene Communities and between YouTube, between Facebook, Instagram, all those other platforms?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I do get asked that a lot, and I know you've already been asked that a lot. So it very, very simply put is that all of those other social media platforms are great, and Convene is not trying to take the place of any of really what we're trying to do is augment them. An example I'll use is YouTube. YouTube is great. So Convene is a platform that really is video driven. We like videos within the experiences. So, you have to have a YouTube channel, and a lot of people that have a YouTube channel, they're putting videos out to try to educate, to try to teach people, or to try to show people something, whatever that topic might be, photography, fashion and beauty, soccer, you name it. So, but what ends up happening is a little bit of the message gets lost in the translation. And so what Convene does is allow you to make a video and then bring that video into an experience or into, the builder and continue the conversation, if that makes sense. So a little bit different. The way that Convene is it's a little bit more organized with how you can respond to answers, how you can rate answers, how you can filter answers for what's a good answer and what's not a good answer. Where on a YouTube video, for example, you might have thousands of comments and, over half of them they don't do anything for you. So what we've tried to do with Convene is to take the best of all platforms and combine it into one, and also to augment those platforms. We don't want you to change anything of what you're doing. We kind of use the term, we want you to bring it to Convene and continue the conversation. If that makes sense.
That's awesome. Yeah. That perfectly answers it. I think that's definitely one of the things, because people think that just because a new platform comes out that they're, automatically trying to replace something, but that's not what Convene is doing. Convene is just, exactly how it sounds. It's a platform for people to use, to their advantage. So,
yeah. So I do a lot of listening, for example, of Gary Vaynerchuk, Brenda Burchard, Pat Flynn, a lot of the big names that do a lot of podcasts, a lot of talking about doing things online. And they are always mentioning that you want to create a community around your whatever it might be. If you're selling content or if you have videos, you want to create a community, create a following, or they use the word a tribe quite often. Yeah. And so, but we can use Facebook for that. You can use Instagram for that, but it's very limited on what it can do. So, listening to those guys is with Convene is what we've tried to do is take, again, the best of everything, combine it into one platform to augment those other platforms and allow people to sell their content or just have private groups or have public groups and have that tribe, have that community, that, tool that is missing out there in the marketplace is really what it's for.
So you mentioned public, private, and premier groups. So just simply, what exactly are those? What is that?
Okay. So Convene is a free platform, right? For all free groups, free content. And so we want people to come in and create any group that they want and create any experiences they want and use the application free. So it's a free tool. Private groups offer somebody a chance to really kind of have a more private experience. And the example I like to use is a soccer team. So Braden, for example, my son, he plays college soccer, and Megan, she was a dancer. And so they might want to use the platform just privately for their team or their organization. And what that allows them to do is to just have members either request to join or you send an invitation to them to join. But we call that a private membership because, it's exclusive to your group. For example, Braden, for Guilford College Soccer, they don't want other college soccer teams seeing what they're doing inside the app. So they make that private. And so when Amanda Ortega comes to try to join Guilford College Soccer, you're going to get, told no, they're not going to happen. Yeah. Right? But for you going to, to college for arts and entertainment, for theater, you might be able to create a private group there, and you're not going to let Matt Currin come join your group, right. Because it's exclusive to where, what you're going to be doing at Winthrop, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and then premier groups is, for example, I've been speaking to in the first responder world for many, many years. Once I retired out of the Marine Corps, I became a first responder, became a helicopter EMS pilot. So I travel around the country and I teach crew resource management. Well, first responders are required to have that for the National Registry. So they have to have crew resource management. So what I can do with Convene is now I can become a premier member. I can go to Convene and I can sell my content. I get to set the price. I get to set the parameters for people to come in and join my community, join my tribe or join my group, and I can sell my crew resource management class or syllabus, because you have the ability to write syllabus. I can sell that to first responders. Now, with that, I have the option to keep all the profit to myself, and the money will come straight to me. Or what I can do is I can give to the affiliate program, give a percentage to our affiliate program. And what that'll allow you to do is have our affiliates out there working for you and selling your courses for you. So, for example, if you knew somebody down in Florida that was a first responder or an EMS and needed to take a course on crew resource management, you could refer my course, and then I'm going to pay you a percentage of what I'm charging for my course for doing that for me.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And so just to clarify, you don't have to be a private member to be a premier private member, right?
Absolutely. No. So you can be a public member, and I'm glad you asked that question. You can be a public member, and that's it, and create a premier group. And the flow of that is you have to have a public group, and then within that public group, you can create your premier groups and sell the content. I can just, if you or me or Megan or Braden, they just want to be a private member to be part of their team or their dance troupe or your theater troupe, then you can just be a private member. So the two are different things, completely different things. Again, a premier member is to sell your content. A private member is to be a member of a private group. And you can have as many once you become a private member, you can join as many private groups as you want. You can set up as many private groups or as many subgroups as you want as well. Same goes for the premier.
Cool. Okay. So now let me ask you a question for, those that are interested in being an affiliate or, like being a community leader.
Yep.
What is the motivation that they can have to become a community leader, to become an affiliate? What kind of motivation can you give them?
So I'll give you an example. So what Convene is based around, it is based around building communities of like-minded individuals. So arts and entertainment, you're going to be a theater, student in college, right?
Yeah.
So that's your passion, right?
Yeah.
And so photography, you're going to have a photography business, so that is your passion, right?
Right.
I'm not really into theater, but I hold the same passion as you for photography. I've been doing it many years. So the other thing is that soccer or military or first responders. So we want to create communities of like-minded individuals to be able to go and be a part of. So if there's somebody out there who has a passion and wants to be a community leader, then I'm looking for community leaders in any type of, group or setting, or, that's very important to us that we continue to grow. So that's one piece of it, but you can also have your own personal groups, premier groups inside of each community. So it just because you're not a community leader does not mean you can't have groups within that. Now,
so let me ask you really quick before you get off that topic. Is it hard to be a community leader? Like, are there a ton of requirements for that, or?
What do you think? You're a community.
I mean, I don't think so, but coming from your perspective, what do you think that?
Wonderful question. No, I love that question, because really one of the worries about social media nowadays is what the bad things that could happen. Somebody came in and somebody did something or said something or posted something wrong. So Convene, just like Facebook, just like Instagram, just like all the other platforms, we have those controls in place, but we also have to self-monitor inside the community. So if somebody does come in and they don't go by the terms and conditions and the privacy policy that we have set out, then we have to take care of that. So a community leader, what are the responsibilities? Well, anybody can write an experience. Anybody can create a group. We promote that. We highly want that to happen. But the community leader's responsibility is to kind of monitor their community. So if I come into photography and I write an experience it doesn't just get published if on the public side. It has to be submitted for approval. And so who does that go to? That goes to you, the community leader. So, and the admins of Convene. So we review it, we make sure it's okay, and we publicize it. Now, what are the other responsibilities? That's a big responsibility. But the other responsibilities is, one, just to kind of watch over the community, but as well to promote the community. Arts, entertainment, and photography are your communities, and you want to grow those communities. So, and that's what you're in the process of doing, and doing a great job at it.
Thank you.
Question.
All right, cool. So, did I interrupt your train of thought? Because I know I did. I'm going somewhere else with it, but I don't remember what you were saying.
No, I don't remember either. But
okay. Hey, I'm sure it'll come up, right?
Yeah. Again, we're looking for community leaders. We're looking for group leaders. We're looking for content providers. And so whatever the domain is, I mean, I think that's really the main point that we want to get across, is that if you have a passion in something, we're looking for you. We don't want to limit how we grow.
Yeah. And, also what's cool about it too, coming from a community leader is, I guess the commission you'll earn from even just facilitating that community, because anything that happens underneath you, you're going to get, I think it's 10%, right, of anything that happens underneath you, along with whatever you're getting from recruiting affiliates and recruiting people who are buying private memberships or buying premier private memberships and such. So,
absolutely. So yes, the community leader makes 10% of any of the profit that ever goes on inside of that community.
Right.
So they're making a portion of groups and private groups and premier groups as well. So
this I should have asked this question earlier, but this platform, I'm looking at it right now. It's a very interesting platform. I love the look of it. It's very modern. It's very easy to use as well. And, how did you I love the color scheme too. Blue and grays, those are very modern colors. Actually, the colors of my new apartment I'll be moving into for college. But how did you come up with it?
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, there has been a couple of iterations of the concept. Mm-hmm. And so to go back where the concept really came from, as crazy as it is back in the Marine Corps, this is how we trained. We used the same flow in all of our training when we were getting ready to, go fight or go to, war. We trained that way. And so the flow is how a lot of people train out in business. So I originally started, with the concept of decision-making, human factors and all that, training corporations how to, train really is that. So the first iteration.
Hold on. What are some of the biggest companies you've worked with? What are your?
No, so some of the biggest I've obviously worked with in the military, the Marine Corps, because I'm a retired Marine, but the Navy, the Air Force, all of that. So all those, but then Pacific Gas and Electric, Duke Energy.
Wow.
There's been a lot of big construction companies that I've spoke with, Tyson Farms. So some big companies, and they use it on their. Training side of the house, because, the idea, and we haven't really touched on this, or I haven't really said this, the idea is that when we go out and we make a mistake or something bad happens, we don't want to repeat that mistake. I kind of touched on that with the mishap. And the same goes as being a first responder or whatever. We learn through experience. That's how we learn. The more experience we have in some given area, the better we are. So that's how the experiences are set up, is that we can learn through people's experiences. And so through the iterations and through becoming, where we're at with Convene Communities, I used to mostly just work with industry, and I used to work with a lot of first responders. But the more I would speak and the more I would talk, people would come and say to me, hey, you need to take your message not just to first responders or not just to industry, but this is about life. This is about parenting. This is about, health and fitness. This is about, you name it. We learn through experiences. So I ended up going to get my master's degree in counseling from Liberty University and life coaching. And so that's really kind of where I've kind of shifted a little bit. We will still work with businesses for sure, we want businesses to be using the platform, but we're looking at life in different communities and all that in this particular area.
Okay, yeah, and what I love about it, it's so crazy. It's not. See, it's not just a one-use platform. It's not only is it going to be amazing for businesses, on the training side of Convene, but it's going to be great for the general public to use Convene, to learn from those experiences. Because like let's say you have a brand new mom, and she has no idea what the heck is going on. She has no idea how to take care of her baby, like she's never done it before. Understandable. But, where is she going to go for that? Maybe she doesn't have the family or the resources to help her. So she goes to Convene and she uses, her resources there. And I think it's just great because the platform is just an endless amount of resources,
That's funny. One of the experiences in parenting that I wrote was we're having a baby. And so you're touching right on that, because when my wife was pregnant with Braden, I literally read every book I could get my hands on, just trying to get ready, what to expect when you're expecting is the big book. But one of the experiences based off of that, because we had no clue what we were doing. I mean, we did no clue. And then, by the time you have your third kid, which is Lainey, it's just grab and go, because you got the experience of being a parent,
Right.
So it's the growth process and just gaining experience. So that's a great example.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, instead of having to read a gigantic book, you just take the experience and you're a pro, right?
Absolutely. And learn from others. The big thing is that in a situation or any given situation or any given experience, the way you might do it might not be the same way that I might do it. That doesn't make it wrong. You're doing it based off of your experience and how you might do it. And me reading what you wrote, might say, oh, I didn't know that. I never thought about that. So I can learn from others. And that's the key thing about Convene. It's you can learn from others.
Okay, cool.
And I want to point one thing out. It's not always just about learning. For example, we're going to have, a lot of music people on Convene. And it could just be a simple question of, hey, do you like this track? Do you like this video? Do you like this song? And people can just write what they want in there. I'm looking forward to seeing how the younger generation, because y'all are so tech savvy, because you've grown up with it, just to see where y'all take the platform.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Braden was talking to me, about that the other day, the songs thing. And I think it's awesome because, not only can you go into the arts and entertainment community or any community to learn, about just things, but you can also go, like, for example, the arts and entertainment community, let's say, like he said, let's say a new Drake album drops and, you're wondering, oh, well, should I buy it or should I just buy a specific song? I want to get others' input on it. Instead of going and messaging all your friends who might not have, experienced the album yet, you can go straight into the experience, very simple, and you can just look at the responses, see what everybody's reviews are on it, So I mean, that's what I'm saying about Convene. It's just so many opportunities that you have, and the abilities within the platform are endless, which is awesome. You can just really use it however you want.
Absolutely.
But hold on, let me get you back on that one topic. I took you off. That's my bad. But so the color scheme, the concept, all of that. Where did it come from?
So really, what it came from, I work with a marketing firm, and so it's just the marketing firm. When I sat down with them, it's a great marketing firm here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, called Bella Agency, and they took what I wanted and what I was getting at. And they designed it all based around these colors and the concept. And so the best, what I love about it is the word convene, because convene means to bring people together. And so that's really, I don't think it could be a better name for it than bringing whatever that community is together, whether it's, Convene parenting, Convene soccer, Convene Christian, Convene military, arts, entertainment, you're convening people. And so that's it. And then the color scheme was just something, they brought the colors out and it just popped. It stood out. So, now we have, somebody who handles all the marketing. We have the coders and the IT guys. that handle all the IT. And so we just, continue to go with the same theme.
Yep. It's awesome. I thoroughly enjoy the platform. I mean, I think that was probably one of the first things that I was drawn to was, the way that it looked. I really appreciated the appearance, and it just made it really easy for me to use, But man, I was going to ask you a good question. Man, I had it, and now I'm trying. Hold on, let me think about it really quick.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll say this. Some people look at it, at first, and they might be like a little confused, or it might be a little overwhelming because they think, well, writing experience, taking experience, groups, and all that. It's really not. You just have to get in and play around with it and take some experiences. We have video tutorials on how to write experiences, how to take experiences. So there's information about how to do it all. And it's really one of those things, once you've seen it and done it one time, then it's easy from that point. Really, you're just putting people in a situation or putting people in a question and having them answer it. And then I want to tell you about this, because this is kind of important, is there is an anonymity piece to it. So there's an anonymous piece to it. I think that's extremely important, because when people come in and write an experience, first off, they have the experience to the opportunity to write it as themselves, or they can write it anonymously. So when you're getting into, touchy topics, you might not want to, and you're looking for advice in life, you can write it anonymously. And so nobody will really know it's you that wrote it. And I think that's important, because when you're talking about topics that might be a little bit touchy, but you really need advice on those and you want to see how other people would handle it, that's a great thing. The other thing is that when you're answering the questions within the experiences, it's the same thing. It's anonymous. So, when you can give open, honest answers, because you're not worried about that judgment. We want Convene to be a safe place for people to come in and post and answer and talk about the situations. And so that's another thing that's really important. Now, when you do get to the discussion boards at the end of the experience, then you are identified and there is your name. Inside the groups, you are posting in the message boards and all that as yourself. But inside the experiences themselves, it's anonymous.
Yeah.
Or being anonymous. So.
Yeah. Okay. And I remember what I was going to say.
Okay.
to touch on that is that, when how you said convene is basically just a word meaning to bring people together. And I think, in a time like this and in the world as it is right now, that's something that a lot of people could use in their life, because I think there's so much division in the world and there's so much diversity, and, not a lot of people really know where they fit in, but in Convene, in real life, you always have somewhere that you fit in, but, it might be hard for you to find it at first, but in Convene, there is a community for everybody, and there are more communities coming out every day, so you are always going to have a place in Convene, whether, like you said, whether it's anonymous or you want to be yourself or, whatever. You always have a place here in Convene to express yourself and just really to be heard, Convene is not meant to be a platform to separate people. It's not meant to be a platform to, I guess you could say, to create animosity in the world.
Absolutely.
It's a platform to, like you said, bring people together, bring like-minded individuals together, and just really give them an outlet. Give them an outlet to express their creativity, express their interests, and just really connect with people that are like them, instead of clashing with people that don't share their same interests or same background. They're going to find people that they connect with.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that's really pretty cool is when you come into an experience, and we've had some good experiences written, on some subjects that some people might look at as controversial. Mm-hmm. But as people have gone in and answered them and flowed through them, it's not that way at all. And one of the big reasons is because when you get put into that experience or that situation and you answer the questions that author has put out, you're just answering the questions. I'm not like replying to your answer, or I'm not replying to somebody else's answer. I'm putting how I think about it. And so that's been one of the great things about the flow of how it's all worked out, because then what you do after you answer the questions, you see what other people wrote.
Right.
And I might not always agree what other people wrote, but I'm just reading them and I'm rating those answers. And so when you get into a Facebook group and you ask the question, what makes this different? When I get into a Facebook group, and let's say into a political Facebook group, what's going on in those experiences?
Everybody is just
everybody's fighting and shooting jabs at each other. But when, for example, there's an experience that is political written in one of the communities, it's just how everybody's opinion. And it's been kind of good, because you can see what other people think and read what other people think, but you're not going at it. You're not fighting. You're just getting other people's honest opinions on, what's going on within that, particular experience.
Right.
So it breaks away from that typical feed where you're just going down a feed and it's one comment fighting the other comment, fighting the other comment.
Right. You just get lost.
Yeah. You get lost in that. And so, offers that safe place to put your answers and, to see how other people think about the situation.
Yeah. And getting that's another cool thing about Convene, like you said, is that, when there's a discussion to be had, or there's an experience to be had, or a video to be watched, what's awesome is that, you can go into Convene and it's not like everything that is related to that experience or that post or whatever it might be, it's all going to be in one area. You're not going to have to, for instance, on YouTube, not saying anything bad about YouTube, but this is just the differences in platforms. YouTube, they'll post a video and then you go down and the comments might not even be related to the video, it might be, oh, follow me on this, whatever. But in the experiences, you're able, it keeps a very meticulous log on, did I just say meticulous?
Yeah, you did.
Is that a word?
Meticulous is a word, and I'm very impressed.
Did I use that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I'm impressed. I didn't know the word, to be honest. It just sounded good with the sentence.
I did.
So basically, it keeps a log of all the discussions going on with that particular thing. So, if I go into, let's say, an experience about, I don't know, like what we were talking about earlier, like an album, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get a bunch of different comments, random comments. It's going to be whatever the author asked the question, those answers are going to be related to that topic, and you're not going to lose, that video or that experience in translation. It's just going to be there for you all the time to find, And one more thing, something cool is that Facebook, when you join a group, there might be, like, let's say there might be, there's post after post after post, and there's let's say there's a specific experience that you read, and you're a story that you read, and you're like, man, I really liked that. And then you get off your Facebook and you go back and you're like, oh, dang it, I lost it. That happens to me all the time, but on Convene it doesn't, because it's right there for me. I can just search and boom.
So this is an important point. Like, there's no algorithms. There's no way to lose the experience. I mean, we're not into the world of, only certain people are going to see the content. We're going to write an algorithm that decides who sees the content. Yep. If somebody's in your group, they're going to see the content, and they're going to be able to search the content, and the content is going to be there. As well as, if they're in your group, you can write an experience and you can assign it out to individuals within the group, or you can assign it to the whole group. So they'll get an email that says, Amanda Ortega has assigned you an experience, right, from your group. So there's no way to lose it, and nor will there ever be a way to lose it, because we want people to see, and be a part of the groups and the experiences in a simple way. And it's also designed in a way that where you flow through it. Again, it's based off of, scenario-based training, like I did in the military, and learning from experiences. And when you train to go fight a war, you train and you go through it and you have lessons learned and you get to where you need to be. So when you get to where you're going, you're prepared. Same for any job that you do. That's why, like in arts and entertainment and theater, you practice and practice and practice. So when the show comes, you're prepared, right?
Right.
That's the way life is. So, one of the big thing about Convene is there's a logical flow. So when I put people in the experience and I give them the background and the experience and whatever, then I ask them the questions. I'm asking the who, what, when, where, why question. I'm asking open-ended questions, not yes or no questions, because I don't care about yes or no questions. I want you to tell me why you like something or why you would do something this way. Mm-hmm. And then what it ends up doing is it goes into a lessons learned area. So what is a lesson learned area? Well, that's where if it's based off an actual experience in life. So if we're talking about an actual helicopter experience, an actual helicopter example, well, I, as the author, I'm going to tell you, well, this is what we did. This is what happened. This is what we did good. This is what we did bad. This is what we could have done different. So you can learn from it, as well as you've learned from the way other people, have done things. So, and then it goes into a discussion board so you can continue the conversation if you want to continue talking about it. Which sometimes there is debate and there is the talking afterwards after you go through the experience that people want to keep going. A great example is there's a couple of experiences about dealing with stress and dealing with depression on the site. And that's what the site is all about. So people can come in and anonymously post about, what they're going through in life. Also, just in the easier things, taking a picture. But in those particular experiences, it carries over into the discussion board, and the discussion boards are long because people are talking about it now. And that's what you want. You want to be able to continue the conversation.
Yeah, it's awesome too because like in the discussion board, like when I post I just posted an experience in the affiliate community, and it has like a picture of like a quote from Success or something about success, but it's a video. It's literally just a video of the first affiliate meeting hosted by me.
Yeah.
And how much of a success that was.
It was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. But I posted that particularly to show people, like you don't always start with everything you think you're going to get. You start with nothing a lot of the times, and eventually. And I know that this company is going to be success, and I know that that we're going to make it and go a lot of great places, but, it doesn't always start out that way. And I wanted to tell people, that I wanted to teach people that lesson, that might be getting discouraged at the beginnings of their business or their whatever it might be, their journey to whatever end goal they have. It's not always going to start out all roses and candy. It's going to be tough at first.
Yeah, let me tell you. So I started this journey on July 9th, 2001. That's when I started. Think about how long ago that was. What year were you born? When were you?
I was born in 1999.
There we go. So was Megan, my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been at this for that long. So, and nothing successful happens overnight. No. And it takes a little bit of work. So, this is, Cindy and I wrote a platform that was very similar to the first platform. We wrote a platform, we didn't like it. And so we said, okay, let's stop, let's regroup, and let's move forward. So that's what has led us here today. So I've been going at this really hard for a while, and it's become over time what it is now. And I think the platform's great. But we're at the beginning stages of this. And that's why I'm so thankful for you and all the other people that are here right now, because you guys are at the beginning stages of what I think will be special. Because really what this is a empty platform that I can put in people's hands, that I've written, and I can put in people's hands. And again, you as a great example as arts and entertainment. Well, that's not my thing. Arts and entertainment is not my thing, but you can now take it and mold it to what you want it to be. And so when we get other people, like, for example, the military, I mean, I've been working with and talking to and doing things with military. Well, the transition process out of the military is not an easy one. So if we can take now the application and we can help people transition out of the military, we can help people with PTSD, or we can help people with those injuries. You know, I'm a medically retired Marine. So I went through the medical retirement process, and it was hard. It was horrible, you know, but I have experiences from that, and, you know, I help people go through that process. So we can take the experiences and we can turn these communities into something special. But I hope what we've come up with over time is not been an overnight process, but over time we can take this application, put it in people like yourselves' hands, and y'all take off and run with it. Again, like I said, you know, when it comes to you and Braden and Megan and, you know, some of the other younger people, I'm excited to see what y'all do and how you transform it, because the way it is right now might not be where it is in 2 years, because it will always be evolving.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's an awesome way to end this this interview. It's been awesome, Matt. Hey, do you have anything to add? Do you have anything you want to say before we
No, I'm glad we did this, Amanda, because, you know, you and I have talked about this, and I think this is better than me just getting on there and just talking about Convene, because now we're taking you as a younger generation and me as, you know, an older generation, and we're trying to combine it and showing how the app will work for everybody. And I think that's really the power of the app. And hopefully we'll just see it, you know, take off and really, really grow. So I appreciate you interviewing me.
Absolutely. No problem, Matt. It's been awesome. Thank you so much for coming out today. Well, really not coming out, you know, just sitting in your chair, but hey, we're both doing the same thing.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, thanks, Matt. This guy is awesome. We're all going to do great things with Convene, and we hope that everybody watching is just as excited as we are, because we're ready to get the ball rolling. All right.
Hey, go join as an affiliate under Amanda. She's the best.
Well, thanks, Matt. I mean, you know, I'm trying to get up there, you know. So
you will.
All right. Well, y'all have a good day. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Amanda.